day of the course Cyber Security. So in the previous session, we have seen the working of two protocols, that is file transfer protocol and email system. Okay. Today we are going to see another two protocols, that is Telnet and SSH. Okay, the objective of today's session is to make you know about the working of Telnet and SSH. So we are going to learn what are the protocol architecture of Telnet as well as the SSH protocol. The session outcome is that the students will be able to understand all the working of Telnet protocol and the SSH protocol. Okay. So these are the outlines of today's session. That is, we are going to see two protocols, that is Telnet and SSH. So the expansion for Telnet is Terminal Network and the SSH is Secure Shell Protocol. Okay. So Telnet is an abbreviation of Terminal Network. So otherwise we can call it as Telecommunication Network. So we call this Telnet protocol as a TCP/IP protocol for virtual terminal service. That is, it will be acting as it provides the service of virtual terminals. Okay. And Telnet is a general purpose client server application program. That is, Telnet is the protocol in which it is used in the application layer of TCP/IP model. Okay. Okay. So this is the representation of terminal network. So here the user is going to access the remote server. Okay. So remote access. So at the client side, there should be need to install the Telnet client program, and also at the server side, there should be need to install the Telnet server program also. So what is the main use of this protocol is that the client can access the remote machine with the help of this protocol via the internet. Okay. So in the previous session we have seen FTP. So it's the file transfer protocol. The main objective of file transfer protocol is that you can go for transferring the files from client to server or server to client. Okay. So Telnet, in the sense, you can go and access the remote machine in your local system. That is the main purpose of using terminal network protocol. Okay. Okay. So here you can see how the Telnet communication is going on. Here is the user. So they can, if any user is going to access the remote machine, they can go by logging credentials by giving username and password to access the server. Okay. So after getting the access from the server, they can use the resources or use the remote machine in their local machine. So authentication is provided here. Okay. So what is Telnet? The standard TCP/IP protocol that runs at the application layer of a network, and it also provides an interface through which the program on one host, that is at the client host, Telnet client, they can access the resources of the another host that is going to be your Telnet server. So via the internet. Okay. So Telnet is acting as a protocol for the remote login, remote machine login. So with the help of this, we can easily log on to the remotely placed mission. Okay. So the Telnet client uses an ephemeral port number, while the server uses the port number 23 of the TCP protocol. Okay. So what is Telnet? It's nothing but a telecommunication network, and it's one of the major network protocols used on the internet. We call Telnet as a text-based protocol, or otherwise called as, we can say it in some other terms, that is caste-based protocol. Okay. So why we are saying like that is, you can access the remote system by transferring the commands. So text-based protocol, we are saying like text-based protocol. So it works on the application layer of the OSA model. Okay. And it also reflects the client-server application program. So it's a general purpose client-server application program, and it is one of the earliest network protocols which was developed in the year 1969. Okay. The original purpose of Telnet is to have an easy interface for the terminals to interact with the another host machine which is located at the remote place. Okay. So with the help of the simple command, you can access the remote machine. And it also provides a bidirectional interactive communication via the virtual communication. Okay. So once the Telnet connection is established, the user can perform the authorized function on a server. So by giving some login credentials to access the server. So, and the client and server can use the negotiate option before the use of the service or during the use of the service. Okay. So Telnet is called as a user command, and it's a TCP/IP protocol for accessing the remote computers, as we seen in the previous slides. Okay. So through the Telnet, an administrator may have the control over the remote machine. So on the web, we have already seen HTTP and FTP protocol. So these two protocols allow you to request for the specific file transfer from the remote computers, but not actually log into the particular system. That's the main difference between HTTP FTP protocol and the Telnet protocol. Okay. So for transmission of files only, we are using HTTP protocol and FTP protocol, whereas this Telnet is used to access the remote machine, or the client can log on to the remote machine, and they can go on carry out the process on the remote machine, and they can get back the results to the local system. That's the main use of this Telnet protocol. Okay. So with the Telnet, you can go on or log on as a regular user with whatever the privileges you may have been granted to the specific application and data on that computer. You can go transferring the data, or else you can go and share the resources from the remote machine to the local machine. Anything we can do with that help of the Telnet. Okay. Okay. So Telnet command request will be looking like this: telnet d.library at what.is.edu. So the result of this request would be an invitation to log on with the user ID and the prompt for the password. Okay. So if it is accepted, then you can easily log on to it, as any user can use the computer every day. Okay. So Telnet is going to be likely to be used by the program developers and anyone who has a need to use a specific application or any data which is located at the particular host computer. Okay. So Telnet is used to establish it enables the establishment of a connection to the remote system in such a way that the local terminal appears to be a terminal at the remote system. The case is that, so if you're having a local terminal, if you want to access the remote system, so you can have the telnet command so that the remote system can be accessed in your local system. Okay. In other words, it allows the user to log on to your remote computer. After logging on, the user can use the services available on the remote computer and transfer the results back onto the local computer. Okay. So what is meant by logging? As you all know, so logging on any system, you need a username and password. Okay. So after giving all these credentials, you can easily enter on to the system. Okay. To access the system, the user logs into the system with the user ID. And they need to give the password also to prevent the unauthorized user accessing the particular resources. Okay. So you can classify the logging process in two ways. One is local login and the other one is remote login. We'll see one by one. Okay. So what is meant by local login? So whenever the user logs into a local system or local time sharing system, that is called as local login. So what is meant by remote login? That is when the user wants to access any application, program or any data or utilities which is located on a far system that is placed remote mission, it is called remote login. Okay. Yes. Excuse me, I couldn't hear you.
Ma'am, the percentage is not visible, ma'am.
Okay, the screen is not visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Ma'am, now it's visible.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Let me proceed. Okay. So we have seen two types of login. One is local login, the other one is remote login. Okay. Okay. So what is meant by local login? So you can go through this representation. Okay. So when the user types any input, that is keystroke, so that whatever the user types at the terminal, the keystroke will be accepted by the terminal driver. Okay. So the terminal driver will be placed at the operating system of any host machine. So the terminal driver passes the characters to the operating system. See, the operating system will do the interpretation work of the characters. It will combine all the characters and it will interpret the characters and it invokes the desired application program. So that's what it will be done working of the local login. Okay. So what is the procedure is going on? So whenever the user feeds some input from the terminal, that characters will be passed on to the terminal driver. So the terminal driver will pass the characters to the operating system. Then from the operating system, what does the operating system will do is it will interpret the characters. So what is the input given will be understood by the operating system, and based on the characters, it will invoke the necessary application programs which is given in here. Okay, this is what local login. So the next thing is remote login. So here you can see at the client side you are having the Telnet client program is installed, and at the server side you can have the Telnet application program installed at the server. Okay. So here what process is going on here? Whenever the user sends the keystrokes to the terminal driver, where the local operating system accepts the characters. Okay. And it accepts and it does not do the interpretation work. Okay. So the characters are sent to the client, Telnet client. Okay. Telnet client, and the Telnet client will transform the characters, and it will transform the characters to a NVT character. What is in the NVT? That is Network Virtual Terminal Characters, which is accepted as a universal character set. Okay, whatever the character received by the Telnet, it will transform the characters into a universal character set that is called as Network Virtual Characters. Okay, Network Virtual Terminal Characters. And after that conversion, it delivers to the TCP/IP protocol stack. Okay. So the text in the NVT form, that is Network Virtual Terminal form, it will travel through the internet. Okay, and arrive at the TCP/IP stack of the, which is placed at the server side, remote machine. Okay, and the characters delivered to the operating system will be passed on to the Telnet server, which changes the characters to the corresponding characters, which is understandable by the server. Okay. So, but however, the characters cannot be passed directly to the operating system because the remote operating system is not designed to receive the character from the Telnet server. So, we need a software there. The software that is called as pseudo terminal driver, which is added, which pretends the characters that are coming from a particular terminal. Okay. So this is what happens in the remote login. Okay, that's the explanations specified here. Okay. So what is then the NVT? So NVT is Network Virtual Terminal. Okay. So here in this figure, you can clearly see the user will be sending some characters from the terminal to the Telnet client. Okay. So it will be in the form of a local computer character set. So when it reaches the Telnet client, it translates the local computer character set into a NVT character set. So NVT character set is the that NVT character form will be traveling along the internet. Then it reaches the Telnet server. So the Telnet server will translate the NVT character set and into a form which is understandable by the server. Okay. That's what. So NVT, what is the main use of NVT is that, so whatever the operating system that is at the client side is working on, it should shoot on to the operating system that is working on the host machine. So the network virtual terminal will work in such a way that regardless of the different operating system. Okay, the client will be running on Windows operating system, or the server will be running on any other operating system. So the NVT will be doing the function that it doesn't bother about the different operating system that's running on either client or server. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So the implementation of network virtual terminal. So mainly this NVT is responsible for translating the operating system specific instructions. So the instruction may be a keyboard code or any display codes. post operating system specific instructions into a consistent set of codes that all Telnet client and server can transmit and receive. Okay. So it will convert into a understandable code which is understandable by the server. That's the main purpose of using network virtual terminal. It will translate according to the server's operating system format. Okay. So entity is what makes Telnet clients and server capable of communicating with each other. So regardless of which operating system they are using, and it provides the standard communication base. Okay. So this NVT character set will be in the form of a 7-bit ASCII characters to which the extended ASCII code is added. So it will be using 3 control characters and 5 optional control characters are used, and a set of basic control signals are also used in the NVT character set. Okay. Okay, the client Telnet translates the characters that come from the local terminal into the NVT form and delivers onto the network. And the server Telnet will be translating the data and commands from the NVT form into a form that is acceptable by the remote computer. So this is the main work of a NVT character set. Okay. So the client network will do the translation from local terminal to NVT form, and it will be passing on to the network. And the server will be doing again the translation process. That is, it converts the data and command from the NVT form into understandable format that is understandable by the remote machine. Okay. Okay, here you can see a NVT character set. So it uses 2 sets of characters. One is for the transmission of data and the other one for the transmission of control. So data character will be there and control character will be there. Okay. Okay. So Telnet uses only one TCP connection. So on the same connection, the Telnet is allowed to use both the data and control characters. So only one within the same TCP connection, the data and the control characters will be sent along with this TCP connection. So Telnet accomplishes this by embedding the control characters in the data stream. So in the data stream, the Telnet will be doing the embedding process of control characters. So in order to separate the data and control characters, each sequence of control characters is preceded by the special control character called the interpret as control that will be used, IAC, interpret as control. So why we are using this IAC is, the thing is that when you are going to separate the data and control characters, IAC is used. Okay. So embedding is done. That is, along a single TCP connection, both the data characters and the control characters are sent. So in order to separate these two, we are using a special control character called interpret as control. That is IAC. Okay. Next, we'll see the options, which are the features available to the user with more sophisticated terminal. So these are some of the common options used for the Telnet protocol. So you can use the option binary. The code represented as 0, which means that you can go for interpreting the 8-bit binary transmission. And echo option is used. The code uses 1. So the way it refers that you can go for echoing the data received on one side to the other side. Okay. And the option status, the code represented as 5, and it refers, you can go for requesting the status of the Telnet. Okay. And 24 representing the terminal type, that is, it means that you can go for setting the terminal type. And 32 referring the terminal speed, which means that you can set the terminal speed. And 34 code represents the line mode, which is representing change to a line mode. So we'll see three modes are possible with the Telnet protocol. One is line mode, the one is character mode. We'll see in the coming slide. Okay. So what is going to be option negotiation? So the Telnet lets the client and the server to do the negotiate options before offering the service or during the service. Okay. There are four characters, control characters are used for this purpose. The first one is will. So these are the control character specific. First one is will, won't, do, and don't. Okay, meaning that will offering to enable and accepting a request to enable. Won't means that you can go for rejecting a request to enable and offering to disable and accept a request to disable. Okay, we'll see this options in depth in the next slide. So do meaning that approving an offer to enable or is requesting to enable. Don't it means that disapprove an offer to enable and also approving an offer to disable and requesting to disable. Okay. So these are the four control characters used in the option negotiation. Okay. So in this picture you can clearly see. So what does the sender do and what does the receiver do? So if the sender wants to offer to enable the option from the receiver, then it will be giving will option, that is it is asking. The sender is asking, will I enable the option? The receiver will be give the response to the sender, that is do or don't enable the option. Okay. So in this, if the sender is requesting to enable an option, the sender is requesting the receiver to enable an option. Okay. So first the sender will request do enable the option. It will send the command like do enable the option. The receiver will be respond to the sender like I will enable or won't enable the option. Okay. Next option. Now the sender is going to offer to disable an option. Okay. The sender will be asking, I won't use the option anymore. Okay. So the sender is saying, I won't use the option anymore. The receiver is saying, don't use it. Okay. So this is an example to request to disable an option. So the sender will be saying, don't use the option anymore. The receiver, I won't. Okay. So here is the example for the option echo. So here the client is going to enable the echo option by giving the command like echo followed by do followed by IAC. So actually we have seen IAC is interpret as control. Okay. So what is the main use of IAC here? So IAC will be used for separating the data and the control characters. So moreover, these data and control characters will be embedded together to use the same TCP connection. Okay. So in response, the server will be giving IAC will echo. That is, the server is ready to enable the echo option. It will give the response like this to the client. Okay. So next we will see what are the three modes of operation that Telnet can implement. Okay. So among these three, the Telnet can implement or operate in any one of the three modes. The first mode is default mode, the second mode is character mode, and the third mode is line mode. So we will see what is meant by a default mode. Okay. So default mode is used if no other modes are invoked through the option negotiation, then you can go for using the default mode. So echoing is done by the client. The user types the character and the client echoes the character but does not send it until the whole line is completed. So the client won't send the character until the whole line of character is completed. Okay. Okay. Then character mode. So each character type is sent by the client to the server. So client will be sending the characters. The type of the data sent is character to the server. The server echoes the character back to the back to be displayed on the client's machine. Okay. So echoing of the character can be displayed if the transmission time is too long. The next comes the line mode. Okay. So it is proposed to compensate the deficiency or disabilities in the default mode and the character mode. So in this, the line echoing is done by the client. So the client then sends the whole line to the server. First, the client will be sending will do the echoing process. After that, the client will send the whole line to the server. So that's any one of the three modes. It will choose any one mode, line mode or default mode or character mode. Okay. So in the screen you can see the Telnet interface. So this is a sample Telnet session of a network. So running host virtually on a terminal in the Windows 7. So wherein the communication is two-directional, or that is bidirectional or two-way communication is carried out here. The host displays the text only. Or already we are seeing Telnet is a text-based protocol or character-based protocol. And then it waits. The client will be waiting till the enter key press to continue. Okay. So here you can see the connection type is Telnet. Then after that it will wait for some time to carry out the process. Okay. So here you can see how the command structure of the Telnet protocol looks like. Okay. So the communication between the client and the server is handled with some internal commands which are not accessible by the user. So all the Telnet command will consisting of 2 or 3 byte sequences depending upon the command type. So here the first byte 1 is comprising internet as command. Okay. Then followed by byte 2 is command code and followed by byte 3 is option negotiated. So for example, you can see here 255 is representing IAC. So IAC is nothing but interpret as command character, which is followed by the command code. Here 253 is representing the command code. So if this command deals with the option negotiation, the command will have a third byte to show the code for the referenced option. Okay. Now let's see what are the advantages of using the Telnet protocol. So it is used to send and receive the information from client to server, and with the Telnet protocol, the administration, or it can go for admin or control. It can have the control over the remote machine. Okay. What are the resources available at the remote machines, and what are the data? They can go for sharing all those data also. So what are the work processed at the remote machines? You can go for carry out in a local machine by logging on to the Telnet, using the Telnet. And it also supports the user authentication, and it can have it provides the collaboration of multiple users. At last, we can go for collecting all the progress among the multiple users, okay, with the help of the Telnet protocol. So it can be used to send and receive the information. Most OS, that is operating system, include an application layer Telnet client. So all Telnet clients and server implement a network virtual terminal. So NVT is playing the main role. That is, NVT will provide a network virtual terminal connection. So through which, so it doesn't bother about whatever the operating system that is running on either client or the server. That's the main advantage of Telnet. Okay. So we'll see what is the disadvantage of using the Telnet protocol is that Telnet can display only text messages and numbers. So So we call that Telnet is a text-based protocol or character-based protocol. So you won't have any pictures or images or any audios, anything else. So no graphical user interface is provided. So no color is there and no mouse. There is no menus or provided here. No checkboxes. So there won't be any user interactivity there. Okay. So only you can have a text-based communication from client to server. Okay. It does not support the transport of encrypted data also. So these are some of the disadvantages in Telnet protocol. Okay. So in add-on to the disadvantages, we can call Telnet does not provide any security to the data transmission. Okay. So we call it not a secure protocol also. So we move on to the next protocol, that is SSH. That is Secure Shell Protocol. Also that you cannot run the graphical user interface tool over a Telnet connection also. So any graphical user tools cannot be run on a Telnet connection. And Telnet is a character-based communication protocol, or otherwise called as the text-based communication protocol. It is not designed to transmit a cursor movement or graphical user interface information. So because of this only, you can only run the command line programs or shell commands or scripts and batch files over a Telnet connection. So this is possible. The command line can run the command line programs over the Telnet using the Telnet. Okay. Okay. So also we told that Telnet is not a secure protocol. So the meaning is that Telnet suffers from security problems. So Telnet requires some login name and password, that is credentials. Any computer connected to your LAN can easily eavesdrop. Eavesdrop means, what do I mean by eavesdrop? So the user can easily be, any person can easily access your credentials, or they can access your username and password, that is credentials, that is using a software called Snooper, IP snooping. Okay, Snooper software which used to capture your login name and the corresponding password, all will be captured by the software called Snooper. That process is called eavesdrop. Okay. So even if it is encrypted, it is going to be hacked. Your credentials is going to be hacked with the help of a software called Snooper. Okay. So for this reason, Telnet is being replaced by a more secure protocol called Secure Hash. That is SSH. Okay. Secure Shell, or otherwise called SSH. So what is the need to use the SSH? So with the evolution of the internet, services like file transfer, remote login and remote command executions become possible with the all these are possible, or these services are provided over the internet. You can go for accessing the files from one system to another system, and you can also go for remote login also. So this existing implementation of protocols that supported these services. So with the help of FTP, can go for transferring the file from either client to server or server to client. And RCP, Telnet, R-login, RSH. What is meant by RCP? It is a rate control protocol. So what is meant by rate control protocol? So it's a way to minimize the download times. Suppose if you want to access if you are going to download any content from the Google server, suppose if it takes long time to download, then you can go for using this RCP, that is rate control protocol, which minimizes your downloading time, okay, or the flow completion time. It minimizes the download time or flow completion time, okay. And what is in the OR login? So OR login is nothing but remote login, okay. It's a Unix program, it's a Unix command program that allows the user to log in onto the another host using the network. So OR login will be using the port number, TCP port number 513. So what is in the RSH? So RSH is a remote shell. So it provides the channel to execute command on a remote host. RSH is a remote shell which provides the channel to execute the commands on the remote host. Okay. So otherwise, in other words, we can say, unlike the Telnet and the SSH, which the RSH will create a terminal shell session on the remote machine. So it passes the command and the authenticated data can be transferred along with this. Okay. So what is the problem existed with all these protocols, FTP, Telnet, remote login, there is R login, RSH, RCP. So these are the protocols which provide some services over the internet. So what is the problem arises with these protocols is that they lack security. Okay. And there is a possibility of intruders to come and access all the login credentials. They can go and intercept the data and they can read or access the data. Okay. To avoid all these problems, we are going for a secure protocol called Secure Shell Protocol. Okay. So main thing, Telnet was especially the plain text username and password is easily hacked over the network. Okay. So either it can be encrypted text easily hacked. So for that purpose, we are replacing the Telnet protocol with that of a Secure Shell Protocol. Okay. So Secure Shell is a protocol, a new protocol which is needed to fix all these security problems. Okay. So we come on to the Secure Shell, which is a cryptographic network protocol for the secured data communication. So if you want to have a secure communication, data communication, we can go for Secure Shell Protocol. So through which secure channel is provided over which we can go for transmitting the data between the client and the server. Okay. So Secure Shell is an alternative protocol to the Telnet and R login, which connects to the Unix services originally created in the year 1995. Okay. So here you can see the picture of Secure Shell. So if the client wants to communicate with the server in a secured manner, then you can go for using the SSH. So normally data is transmitted with the client and server, but not in a secure line, like the internet. So we'll be using the Secure Shell Protocol. So what is the history of Secure Shell? That is, in 1995, Finland University network compromised via a password sniffing attack. So what is meant by password sniffing attack? So it's nothing but the password and the login credentials will be hacked by the hackers using the software called snooping. Okay. So researcher called Tatu at the university, he developed the protocol that is SSH1 product for himself to improve the security, providing security purpose. He started at the university. Okay. SSH1 quickly becomes popular and its use was also increased. It is released with a free license, and the researcher founded a company and he submitted SSH1 protocol to the IETF. Okay. And the problems were discovered that were not fixable without offering backward compatibility. Okay. In the year 1996, a new version of protocol was released. So 1995, SSH1 was emerged, and in 1996, the next version, that is SSH2, was released. So a new protocol named SSH 2.0, or otherwise called as SSH2. So it improves. What is the main advantage of 2.0? SSH 2.0, it improves the security as well as the features of improves the features of SSH1 also. So multiple sessions were being possible over a single SSH connection was made possible, and improved security is also provided with the DHT exchange. Okay. An IETF formed the SEC-SH group to standardize the protocol, and the group submitted the protocol in the year 1997. Okay. So SCS released the SSH2. This is a software product based on the SSH2 protocol in 1998. It has the restrictive license and hence had lesser usage. Okay. In 2000, SCS eased their restrictive license, which allows several operating systems to implement them, including Linux operating system, NetBSD, FreeBSD, and OpenBSD. OpenBSD developed OpenSSH, another SSH implementation also, was freely available under the OpenBSD license, and it was presently used in the several operating system also. Okay. So today SSH is supported by several operating systems like Linux, Mac operating system, and Windows, etc. Okay. So what is SSH? It's a program, both a program and a protocol. So it allows the user to securely log in onto the another computer over the insecure network. So internet is very insecure. Via the internet, your credentials may be hacked with the help of the spoofing software. To avoid that, we are removing the SSH. Okay, it executes the command and transfers the file. So SSH was created in replacement of the Telnet, FTP, RLogin, RSH, and RCP. So the SSH will be using the TCP, uses the TCP protocol, and provides authentication, confidentiality, and integrity, authorization, data compression, and with the SSH2 multiplexing also. It has a transparent kinds of communication over encrypted network connections also. And SSH can also be implemented to most operating systems. On most operating system, maybe Windows or Mac or Linux. The SSH can be implemented on various operating system also. Okay. What is not? That is, SSH is not a shell or a command interpreter in the sense of Linux-born shell and shell, but provides a channel to run the shell on a remote computer. The thing is that the SSH is not a command interpreter in case of Unix. Okay. Whereas it provides a channel to run the shell program on a remote computer. That's the thing here. Okay. We'll see what are the features provided by the SSH. That is, it provides authentication. So authentication means your user credential, user ID and password. So the proof of the identity of the users and the servers, typically password and the public key signature. So we can go for prevent some unauthorized users. That is authentication, where it's provided via the password protection. And privacy. So it provides privacy also via strong encryption algorithms, and the integrity is also provided. Integrity means honesty, it's trustworthy. So whatever the client sends, it will be received on the server side. So the data transmission is trustworthy or honesty, okay, without any data loss. That is integrity. So cryptographic integrity checking is done via MD5. MD5 is message digest file. There is an algorithm which checks the integrity of the data. And SHA is SHA-1, that is secure hash algorithm. SHA is secure hash algorithm, which is the hashing algorithm used for the security of the data. Okay. SHA-1 is the keyed hash algorithm, also used to provide the integrity, okay, and authorization or accessibility. So it can the server configurable. It provides the server configurable access also, and forwarding or tunneling. That is, SSH will provide a channel in the sense it provides a channel over which the data can be passed from client to server in a secured manner. Okay. So forwarding or tunneling means encrypt other TCP/IP-based sessions also. Then data compression is also provided with the SSH protocol also. So these are some of the features provided by the SSH protocol. Okay. So SSH is very important in cloud computing also. It solves many problems, connectivity problems, avoiding the security issues of exposing a cloud-based virtual machine directly on the internet. And SSH channel will be provided, which the main functionality of channel is to provide a secure path over the internet through a firewall to a virtual machine. Okay. So what are the benefits of using SSH is that it provides confidentiality, that is nobody can read the message content while the transmission from client to server, and authentication is also provided of both client authentication and the server also. So protection against the IP spoofing, IP source routing, DNS spoofing, password interception, and eavesdropping. So what are all kinds of things is that it provides some authentication. What is in the IP spoofing? So IP is nothing but internet protocol, IP address. So every machine will be having an internet protocol address, that is IP address. Okay, IP address spoofing, or otherwise called as IP spoofing. So what do I mean by that IP spoofing is that the creation of IP packets. You can go on creating some IP packets with a false source IP address. So why we need to go for using a false source IP address is the thing is that you are going to do that for the purpose of to make an attempt of deceiving someone, that you are going to be a true person. Okay, that is IP spoofing. So IP spoofing is nothing but you are going to create the IP packets with the false source IP address for the purpose of impersonating another computing system. Okay, so what is meant by IP source routing? So IP source routing is a technique wherein which the sender of the packet can specify the route that the packet should take through the network. Okay. So as the packet travels through the network, each router will examine the destination IP address and chooses the next hop to forward the packet. Okay, what is the DNS spoofing? So DNS means domain name space. DNS spoofing means it's nothing but an attack that uses the altered. You can go for altered domain name records to redirect the traffic to a fraudulent site. The thing is that DNS spoofing is that it is a type of computer attack wherein which the user is forced to navigate or forced to enter into a false site, for fake website or false website. Okay, in order the false website will look like a original website. Okay, so the thing is that with an intention of diverting the traffic or stealing some credentials of the users, that is called DNS spoofing. So DNS spoofing is an attack in which the user is forced to log into a fake website, okay, with the intention of diverting the traffic or in order to steal any credentials from the user. That is DNS spoofing. What is password interception? Sorry. Okay. So password interception means you can go for accessing the password credentials. Okay. Okay. Eavesdropping means it's an attack. It's also called as packet sniffing or snooping attack. So it is nothing but thefting of some information as it is transmitted over the network. So via the network, you can. So already we know that network is insecure. So the person can go on steal some credentials. The theft of information. Or else we can go for doing the theft of some smartphones, what are the informations in your smartphones or any devices, any other connected devices. Okay. So what are the key takeaways from eavesdropping is that it can go for, this is an attack which avoids the public Wi-Fi network. You can avoid the public Wi-Fi networks, and you can keep your antivirus software in an updated manner, and also you can use strong passwords. Okay, so these are the key takeaways for a eavesdropping attack. Okay. Next thing, it also Secure Shell also provides integrity. So integrity in the sense honesty or provides trustworthiness of the data transmission. It guarantees that the data is not lost between the in the transmission from host to remote mission, or else the data is not altered in between the transmission. Okay. So what are the advantages of using Secure Shell is that I can handle the secure remote logins, and it can handle it will handle the secure file copy also, and drive the secure FTP, and it provides a strong integrity checking via the message authentication codes, and it can also use to transfer a file from a computer to another computer, and better security is provided through the key exchanges mechanism, and it can also use this Secure Shell for browsing the web through an encrypted proxy connection also, using the SSH server as a proxy. It can act as a proxy server also, and both the ends can authenticate themselves to the other end, or all traffic encrypted. So advantage is mainly security is provided with the help of the Secure Shell protocol. Okay. So protection. The important advantage is that it provides protection. So it provides protection against all these attacks, that is packet spoofing, IP spoofing, password sniffing, and eavesdropping. So already I have mentioned all these. What is maybe packet spoofing, IP spoofing, password sniffing, and eavesdropping. Okay. So from all these attacks, SSH will provide the protection over all these attacks. Okay. SSH also uses user key and host key rather than the IP address. So if you are using the IP address, then the hackers can easily change the IP address. So in order to avoid that, SSH is using the key mechanism, exchange key mechanism. Okay, so SSH is less susceptible to packet spoofing and IP host spoofing also. It implements the cryptography for both authentication and communication also. So strong encryption is make the password sniffing and eavesdropping impossible. Okay, so strong encryption algorithm is provided with the help of the SSH, so which overcomes the disadvantages facing over the password sniffing and eavesdropping. It becomes impossible with the SSH. Okay. And what are the disadvantages with the SSH are? It only supports the known port number. So the thing is that dynamic port is not supported here, and port number can be exploited also. Okay, exploited means it is visible, or what is the port number uses? Known. Okay, so SSH can't fix all type of TCP problem also, since TP runs below a SSH. It can minimize the attack type with the authentication, and security can minimize the security also. So network hijacking, that is SSH is vulnerable to denial of service attack also, and the SSH cannot protect the user from the attack which is made by the another protocol. So that cannot be protected by the SSH. Okay. For example, NFS mounting can allow the malicious access to root on Unix system or Linux system. Okay. And the other disadvantage is it provides no protection against the viruses or Trojan horses. Okay. So these are some of the disadvantages with the SSH. Okay. Now let's see what is the protocol architecture of the SSH2. So in the previous slide we have seen there are two versions are available with the SSH. One is SSH1 and the second one is SSH2 version 2. So SSH is a proposed application layer protocol with 4 components shown in this diagram. The first component is SSH trans. The second component is SSH auth, and the third one is SSH connection. Okay. And the fourth one is SSH application. So all these will be SSH is the protocol that is acting on the application layer of the TCP/IP model. Okay. We'll see what is meant by SSH trans, connection, or authorization. Okay. So what is SSH trans? Is that transport layer protocol. SSH transport layer protocol. It is the server authentication which provides the server authentication, confidentiality, and integrity. And it runs on a TCP/IP connection or any other reliable data stream. Okay. And the next thing is next component is SSH auth. There is the authentication protocol which authenticates the client side user to the server side. Okay. And it runs over the transport layer protocol. What is the next component is SSH connection protocol. Simply we can say SSH con. Okay. So which is used to multiplex the encrypted tunnel. So tunnel in the sense it provides a channel into several logical channels. So this connection protocol is used for multiplexing. Okay. Then it runs over a user authentication protocol also. And SSH application is the fourth component. After all the connection phase is completed, it allows several application programs to use the connection, or that application programs will be transmitted from one host to another remote host also. So this is what the 4 components in the SSH2 layer protocol. Okay. So what is meant by tunneling? It's otherwise called as port forwarding. So one of the services provided by SSH protocol is that it provides a port forwarding. That is, a tunneling is established between the local site and the remote site. So through which a secure connection is established, in which we can the client can send the resources or in a secure manner. Okay, that is tunneling or port forwarding. So we can use this secure channels available in the SSH to access the application programs such as Telnet, and which does not provide the security services. Okay. So with the help of the channel, the SSH client can send the data transmission in a secure way. Okay. Now let's see the packet format of SSH protocol. So in the previous slide, we have seen what is the architecture of the SSH protocol, which comprises 4 components. Okay, SSH transport layer protocol, SSH connection, and SSH authentication. Okay, now let's see the packet format. It comprises the first 4 bytes will be comprising of length, and the second followed by the length, it is having a padding which occupies 1 to 8 bytes, and followed by that it can have the type, okay, which involving 1 byte. So length is defining 4 byte field which defines the length of the packet, including the type of the data and what is the data to be encrypted, and the CRC fields. What is in the CRC? Cyclic redundancy check field. Okay. And padding is 1 to 8 byte field. It added onto the packet to make the attack on the security provision, which becomes more difficult there. So type is representing the type of the packet used by the SSH protocol. It's a 1 byte field, and data is a variable length. Its length can be found by deducting the 5 bytes from the value of the length of the length field. CRC is the cyclic redundancy check field, which is used for the error detection purpose. So this is the packet format of SSH. Okay. And SSH is the authentication method uses through a public key encryption. Public key encryption and or private key. So with the help of the public key and private key, this is a secured authentication method which is used in a secure shell protocol. So it uses 2 types of algorithms, that is RSA algorithm and DSA algorithm. So DSA is a digital signature algorithm. Okay. And each computer in the communication will be having 2 keys. One is the private key, the other one is the public key. So the message is encrypted with the help of the public key, which is available to any person. But it can be decoded only with the help of the private key, so which is known only by the destination computer. So private key will be known only to the destination computer, whereas the public key, with the help of the public key, encryption will be done. With the help of the private key, decryption will be done at the destination computer. So though the keys are mathematically related, there is no way to figure out the private key using the public key. Okay. So the SSH uses the following ciphers for the authentication purpose. Ciphers means it is a secret code, or in other words, you are hiding the original message. So ciphertext means you are converting the original plain text into a ciphertext, that is, you are hiding some or using some secret codes to hide the original thing. Okay. So the ciphers used are 2 algorithms, that is RSA algorithm and DSA algorithm. So RSA algorithm can be used in SSH 1 version also. It is used in SSH 2 version also. DSA is not used in SSH 1 and DSA algorithm is used in SSH 2. Okay, so let's see what is the difference between SSH 1 version and version 2. So in the SSH 1, the user server and host keys are used to authenticate the systems. In SSH 2, it's very more secure than the SSH 1 because it only uses the host key. Okay, that's the difference between SSH 1 and SSH 2. And what is the difference between DSA and RSA? So DSA is generally faster in decryption. So decryption in the sense decoding the encrypted message at the destination, but slower for encryption. So DSA is very fast. DSA algorithm is used. This algorithm is very fast in decryption process, whereas it's slower for the encryption. RSA is less secure than the DSA, but it authenticates faster. Okay. So what is meant by encryption? Encryption is nothing but the conversion of original data into a form called the ciphertext. That is the encryption part. Okay. That no one can easily understood by the unauthorized person. So that is the encryption. Converting the plain text into a ciphertext, that will be done by using the encryption algorithm. So no one can access easily. Unauthorized person cannot be able to access the ciphertext. Okay. Decryption is the process of converting the encrypted data back into its original form, so that it can be understood. Okay. So what are the authentication methods used? Kerberos and host-based authentication. So Kerberos is the authentication method in which only a single login is required for persistence. So if the session is established, only a single person can log in onto the particular session. That's the main objective of using the Kerberos authentication method. The concept depends upon the trusted third party using the system in the network and is trusted by all of them also. So it performs a mutual authentication where a client proves its identity to a server and a server proves its identity to a client. Okay. So mutual authentication is performed. Okay. And what is about host-based authentication is that a simple trust is maintained. The host is certified trusted and the user is trusted even no password is provided. Then the communication starts here. Okay. So let's come to the summary of the whole session. So up to this we have seen in today's session two types of protocol. One is Telnet protocol, the other one is secure shell protocol, that is SSH. Okay. So using the Telnet, the connection will be established to a host. It's very simple. You can easily interact with the remote computer directly by typing by a simple command. So already we've seen this Telnet is a text-based protocol, or otherwise called character-based protocol. So using the text, the clients can ping on to the remote system. Okay. So normally the data transmission between the client and the server is not in a secure line. Okay. And to make it secure, we can go for using the secure shell. So in which can terminate a secure session utilizing an encryption. Okay. So Telnet protocol supports the user authentication, whereas it does not support the transport of encrypted data. So data transmission is not trusted there, whereas Telnet protocol provides the user authentication. So authorized person can only access. That will be provided by the Telnet protocol, but it won't give guarantee to the trust the integrity of the transmission. Okay. So unlike the secure shell protocol, which offers a secure transmission of the data. Okay. So almost now all the network professionals will be using this SSH in place of Telnet whenever possible. And these are the slides used for references used for the presentation.